Hi and welcome to the very first episode of the Yardi Living series. My name is Meggie and I'm joined today by Grant and Luke at Isla. We are here today at Equipment Works, which is one of their build-to-rent developments in Walthamstow.
I'm Grant Robertson. I'm the Technical and Compliance Director for Isla, a build-to-rent operator. I've got about 20 years experience in the property industry using various systems. Started off in student accommodation and more recently moved to build-to-rent sector.
In terms of your day-to-day in the business and so on, what does that sort of entail?
Well, I'm in charge of all things technical, so all of the IT systems that support the business. And I also have a sideline on the compliance side. So in a previous role, I did quite a lot of work in health and safety and general compliance from a technical perspective. So I write a lot of the policies and procedures for our operational teams to use, as well as running the IT side.
And so I guess, Grant, just a little bit around, then Isla and sort of the evolution, how it came about when you joined the organisation, if you can just tell us a little bit about that.
Sure, so Isla was formed in 2022 in the August as an in-house management company for an investor who previously used external management agents to run their properties. So they wanted to move everything in-house. They recruited a small team in order to build that platform, and I was lucky enough to be approached as employee number 3.
Wow.
And started from there. So in that time, at the time we had a pipeline of around 3,500 units under construction. We had about 6 months to get ourselves together to be able to let our first units at our first building in Birmingham. So the 3 of us on a blank piece of paper, we sat down and started to sketch out what that process would look like and what technologies we're going to need to use to support us.
What was sort of the selection, or I guess the thought process around what was needed to be live and operational within that 6-month time frame?
Well, the main essence was what could we get that would work with that time frame. It was a very short space of time to go from literally nothing, a blank sheet of paper and 3 laptops, to a fully functioning system that encompassed a website, an e-commerce platform, a back-end finance system, a CRM system, and a property management system all in one go. So the cast list for potential software wasn't huge that could actually even meet those criteria. So we also didn't want to own any physical hardware, so it had to be a cloud-based system, fully cloud-based throughout the business, not just the PMS system. Everything had to be cloud-based.
Were you open to kind of multiple systems, or was it always you're looking for that one solution to kind of encompass everything?
Ideally, if one system could accomplish everything, then it's clearly easier to keep everything in that one system. I think that we have to recognise that nobody can be the best at everything. So as well as trying to keep as much as we could under one roof, we also wanted a system that would embrace other providers where perhaps they didn't offer that particular product, that they were open to interfacing with others. So that was a consideration as well. But I think the main element was, could it be done in time?
Yeah.
And Yardi was the product that came to the fore really as the one that did have all of the various elements that we needed as a startup, and it could be done within the time frame we had available. What
did you want to achieve from a system?
Well, we needed to achieve speed, we needed to achieve usability. Again, we weren't going to be a huge organisation, we're still not a huge organisation, so anything needs to be easily trained out to our remote teams. How
did you find, or talk to me a little bit around the onboarding experience, or how you found that initial sort of implementation, as you like?
It was going to be very much a two-way process in order to get the system up and running in time. So we embraced that, and the team that we were allocated were able to draw out from us what we needed and then to put that in place. But it was a very steep learning curve. I won't make any bones about that. because it's such a vast system, it does so many different things and has so many different functions and options that getting into those was quite a steep learning curve. So it's really important that you get good project managers within the business to be able to help that process along.
Would you say that was the approach, or was it more kind of you would kind of learn a specific part of the solution, the team would go away, kind of get better at that and come back? How did you approach it?
I think from the off, we were given the training on the job, if you like, as the system administrators, and we were then to train out our own teams as and when they came along. So it was a steep learning curve to go from being a complete novice Yardi newbie to then turning around a week later and training that out to a team was quite a tough one, because quite often we didn't have all the answers that we needed at our fingertips. But the team that we had from Yardi were good at coming back in from time to time to build up those gaps in knowledge that we had. To enable us to then train our own teams out. And now we've got it down to quite a fine art now, where it's quickly trained out to a new team as and when we bring new buildings on board.
How has the support team been since then, as in now that you're live on a day-to-day sort of, I guess, a communication basis, but also from a support standard as well? So
we have regular contact with the sales teams on maybe a twice a year basis, where we sit down and discuss what our future plans are in terms of growth. We also have support on a more regular basis from the technical account managers and the relationship managers. So every fortnight we're on a call with them just to make sure that everything's being addressed, everything's going fine. And then we have a fortnightly call with the technical team in Cluj as well, who have been great, I must admit. It was with a slight trepidation that when we came to the product that we found out it was an overseas call centre and offshore support, and one always has worries that the interpretation is going to work well, but absolutely no problem at all there. The Romanian team have been absolutely fantastic, and we deal with them very regularly.
With yourselves, it wasn't that you were coming with kind of prior data and processes in terms of to a new system. Would you say that kind of benefited you? Do you think I guess in hindsight, if you had come with more information that you had to migrate into a solution, would it have been flexible enough? What are your thoughts kind of on that point?
I think so. We were very lucky in that, as you say, we were coming with a blank sheet of paper. We weren't dragging mountains of data with us. We weren't wedded to any particular processes. So we were quite happy to sit back and say, tell us what the Yardi way is, and we'll fit in with that, provided obviously it fits in with our legal responsibilities as landlords and managing agents. So we very much took the Yardi by the book method, and that fits in nicely. Obviously there's a whole team in Yardi that look at the various national markets and compliance for the product. So we were able to get something that fitted the standard scheme, and there are so many different options that if you do want to do something slightly differently, then there's a module for that, or if you need some bespoke functionality created for you, then that's an option that you can go down as well. So it was good to know those were available, but we, as much as possible, wanted to keep it as plain vanilla as possible to avoid, because of the speed element, and to avoid any additional complications.
The key maybe sort of areas or benefits that you've seen in terms of, now that you've had the system in for kind of 2 years, I guess, could you narrow it down to a couple of different things that it's kind of brought you, or any initial pain points that you've now overcome? What would they sort of be in your mind?
Everybody has a different standard or a different requirement for reporting, and having the ability to create a flexible reporting environment was quite key to us. Our investors had particular requirements regarding the format that they were used to sending their reports up to their higher authority in, and so didn't want to change away from those. So it was useful that Yardi offers that reporting option, albeit we've managed to keep everything within the one system by and large. There are some things Yardi doesn't do, so we've had to go to other providers for those. But it's also good to see that Yardi is now becoming more open with the thought of integrating with other platforms.
I guess just talk to me a little bit more around kind of the ones that maybe you've wanted to do or you've added in. Have you been able to accomplish that where you have a feed from the Yardi system in there, or how have you done it?
Yeah, so the key one, which was already built in when we took the product on, was the integration with the tenancy deposit service, and that's an absolute key must-have within the system, and it works pretty well. Also integration with referencing agencies, so we're literally about to turn the switch on an integration with that, with Home People. We've been using them in a more of an offline way, using their own platform up until now, but I think we're fairly happy now that we can turn that integration on.
Where would you sort of position yourselves at the moment in terms of where the company's at within the wider space?
Well, we've grown quite quickly, given that we started in 22 with nothing. There was a forward funded pipeline of 3,500 apartments that we were looking towards, and it's remarkable and head spinning as how quickly we've arrived at this point at the moment. So now we're managing just over 2,200 units in 9 different sites across the UK. We've got another 3 sites planned to open this year in Cardiff, Salford and in West London. And more sites in West London and Leeds opening next year.
I guess from a business perspective what do you think the impact will be to Isla first and foremost as a business?
I think as long as you keep people happy and residents happy, then yes, there may be more churn where people are given the opportunity to give 2 months notice as soon as they've moved in, pretty much. So you've now got an open-ended periodic contract as opposed to a fixed-term contract. But I think if we do our jobs properly and we keep people happy and we price the assets fairly, then there shouldn't be too much of an issue. I mean, BTR has always offered over PRS that more security of tenure, that as long as you find that the flat you're in is affordable, then you can stay there for as long as you like. Something that doesn't always happen in PRS, and that's where a lot of the issues around Section 21 evictions came from. We want to keep people here. We're not interested in evicting them so we can move in our family or as you would do with a much smaller landlord.
What are your thoughts on sort of AI in general? And I guess taking that a step further would you also see it being leveraged enough to draw out, I guess, automations within the kind of the rental industry as well? I
think that there is definitely a place for it, and there are some interesting applications that we're looking at currently. Testing certificates, the plans, the drawings, the manufacturer's data sheets on all the different elements, and to have to manually classify all of those. Or to know where to look for certain pieces of information. And we're working with a company who are employing AI now to classify all of those documents, read through them, so that we'll be able to ask natural language questions to it to say, tell me which document contains the information about my boilers or has information about this or that. And to be able to get those documents returned to us really quickly. And also from a compliance perspective, to maintain this golden thread of information that we're having to do now, so that a building's life cycle is described by the documents that come with it. Having a system like that with AI to churn through the content of all those documents, recognise all the documents and determine what is this document. Is it a drawing? What is it a drawing of? to allow you then to have that powerful search capability to be able to pull up that information as and when you need it.
And would you say as a industry we have, I guess, embraced it enough? Do you think that we can do more to educate and teach or learn about the ways in which it can provide more efficiencies, or?
I think there are always going to be ways in which one can do better, and to be able to look at a data set and make reasonable pronouncements from it, so that one isn't reliant solely on running reports, that the system can be taught to inform you when something needs your attention, rather than you having to divine it somehow by a report, having hopefully written the right report in the first place, that it can give you insights into data that you didn't know you had, or you didn't know you could get, really.
Where do you see, I guess, Isla in 5 to 10 years?
That's a good question. Very much depends on the appetite for the investors and what their event horizons are, their time horizon are for the investment. So I hope that we've built a good platform, that we are seen as one of the better operators in the market, and if not the best, then it's certainly something we're striving for, both in terms of managerial returns to the investors as well as the service that we provide to our customers. So I just hope we become well known for that, and that if people see an Isla building advertised, they know what they're going to get when they move in there. There's not a lot of recognition at the moment for brand, I think, within the BTR industry. That will possibly become more so, and buildings will become more known for the brand of the management that runs them, perhaps than for the building itself. And that if you know you're moving into a particular building run by a particular company, that you're going to get a good experience.
Thank you ever so much. It's been great to chat with you.